I'm visiting with Grace Gardiner. She and VQ Nonstop Stinson won the 2D Sale Grad Average Side Pot at Pink Buckle 2023 held in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Grace, we have so much to talk about. This is a new mare for you. Pink Buckle was your guys' first actual barrel race together. Tell me a little bit about your experience and how Lazy E treated you this year.
Lazy E was great. It was really exciting. At first I was really nervous coming from rodeos and then going into the barrel racing world, I guess I would say. Is I was pretty nervous about just the experience in its entirety. And Val really just made me feel really comfortable in that arena. And I just can't describe it. She just gave me a piece that I was okay. And she definitely held her own there.
Val has a lot of Pink Buckle history. You mentioned that you've owned her right around 6 weeks now, but I've watched, it's really fun to get to do this interview with you because I've watched that mare. I watched her go through the sale and I saw, Jeff, that time that set tongues a wagon that Jeff Varner would no sale her for 300 and some $1,000. And that was so exciting. And then I get to watch, Kelsey run her at Pink Buckle. And then I watched Haley run her at Pink Buckle last year. And you guys just made beautiful runs this year. How did you guys become a team and how has this mare been a blessing to your life?
We became a team. It's a funny story. We kind of, the relationships that God put in my life and kind of lined up for this mare to fall in my hands is really amazing. And Haley Kinzel had watched me run a good horse of mine at Reno that was actually new at that time. And so that kind of came into play when my dad had texted Emily Beisel looking for a backup for this horse. And Emily's like, well, I don't know, but this horse might be able to be bought. And Haley had known that I rode quiet, so it kind of lined up everything really well. And then Jeff Varner is who owned her, and Haley ran her. And Jeff had kind of seen a few things that I posted and really appreciated just my work ethic and how I tie God into everything that I do. And so he was really comfortable with me trying her, and we tried her out on the road. We tried her in Caldwell, and we made a really, really good run, really respectable. And then we vetted her at Idaho Equine, and then she became mine from then on.
That is such a cool story. And like I said, Val is kind of Pink Buckle famous, but she's also been making waves in rodeo. So tell me about her first pro rodeo win with you.
We won Cranbrook, British Columbia, which was a big win for me at the time. I was on the bubble for the Canadian finals. We fell short of that this year, but that's a goal for next year. And she just that just helped our confidence. I believe that was our second run together and my third time riding her. And she really is just such a blessing to my family and I. And she's kind of just held her own everywhere she's been. She's never really, as a young horse, she's 6 and rodeoing and such. There's a lot of sights to see, but she's always just been super confident and consistent. And even when she's not confident and consistent, she tries her hardest every time. So she makes up for it. And you know that with that horse, you're going to get her heart every single time. She's never going to fall you.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned that you're known for being a quiet rider with a great seat. Your family has a little bit different background than a lot of rodeo families. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, ma'am. My family, I grew up in the cow horse world. My parents, they breed cow horses, and the reining cow horse world, I should say. So they've been involved with the reining cow horse for, I would say, probably close to 10 to 12 years, maybe longer. I would definitely say it's shaped the way I ride. Sarah Dawson has been a huge impact on my riding, and I would say that my background is, I'm looking at my computer right now, and it's a background of me on my horse Lester that I used to show the cow horse. But I kind of hung my hat up for that this year, so it's kind of a bittersweet moment for me. But it's been a huge thing for my parents and I, and my parents especially have made waves in the reining cow horse world, and it's just been, I'm a proud daughter to see that how they've handled themselves and how they just kept their relationships and being breeders in that world and having the success that they've had and keeping the relationships and keeping God at the center of it all has just been such a blessing to be able to see and watch. And Sarah Dawson has helped my riding tremendously. I would go over there and prep for World's Greatest and, all these youth events that were a really large opportunity for us all. And it was in the NRCHA, it was just a large opportunity for these young kids to have a shot at it, especially the Youth World's Greatest. I think to this day is still my favorite event I've been a part of. But I spent quite a lot of time at the Dawson's place and riding with them. And I would learn so much from Sarah on Lester, you may be right, my cow horse. I would learn that and I would carry it over to barrel racing. And I think that I've worked with a couple of barrel horse like trainers and such. And I think that Sarah's had the biggest impact on my barrel racing, more than I think she'd ever even know. And I think she'd laugh at hearing that, but she's completely shaped the way I ride and the way that I feel a horse is just from that foundation of cow horse.
Man, that's so cool. And we talked a little bit before I hit record. You're also very influenced by another cow horse to pro rodeo crossover, Jesse Telford. Tell me a little bit about what that meant to have somebody who's kind of been there, done that, to bounce ideas off and get knowledge from during your rookie season.
Oh my goodness, Jessie has been such a blessing to me. I mean, my entire life, but especially this past year. She trained my good horse Ellis, Playgun's Fame, and he actually, it's so fun how that cross kind of comes together because he's cow bred and comes back. He's by Playgun out of a Dash to Fame mare. So he has that foundation of a cow horse. It's funny, before I run him, I actually spin him in circles like a cow horse. Like, it's so fun. But Jessie trained him, and she just has been such a blessing to my family and I. You know, I can bounce ideas off of her. I can text her and she'll text me in a hurry back, and I will always get the honest opinion. I'll never get anything less than the honest opinion. And if you know Jessie, you know that's so true. She never gives you anything but her honest opinion if you ask. And she's just been such a blessing. And her kids and I have grown up together, and her girls, Sierra and Shawnee, have just been such a great, we basically like lived at their house this summer. So that were our common meeting ground, and it's like our second home. And being able to hang out with the girls, I grew up with them, and we all ran around at Reno, Nevada for when Snapple Bit fraternity was there. And just being able to be there and hang out with the girls, it just made me feel like I was at home and I was welcome, and just kind of had that center ground of everything, of like coming back to everything and not being, you know, just feeling like you're a glorified carny, like you always feel when you're rodeoing. And Jessie has just been a huge impact, and just being able to call her and be like, okay, I don't know about this, but what do you think about this? And she'd send us arenas and places to stay. I mean, she's just been such a huge beacon in the journey and in the success that we've had this year.
Yeah, that is so cool. You know, my final question for you is sort of a perspective. So you rodeo, but you also have a mare that's eligible for these big incentive races. How do you see that? How do you fit in, you know, opportunities like the Pink Buckle with your rodeo goals?
Well, this last week, I'm definitely going to fit it in no matter what, because that was awesome. But I think my favorite part about it all was the fact that we made 2 clean runs. And I mean, we did 16.5 it by any means, but we were there, and a 17.3 on a standard is, I mean, at any rodeo will place you. I mean, unless it's, you know, crazy conditions and the ground's amazing, but like that'll place you at a rodeo. And that's like, I think we made my fastest time on a standard ever. And we were 17.30. And that's my fastest ever. And I was stoked. I mean, I was so excited. But then to make those 2 clean runs and then just be able to kind of see where it fell. And my dad, he's so funny. He like texts me every single time. He's like, you guys won this and you won that, and you got money here and you got money there. I mean, it was like we were continually playing this game of blackjack. Like we were all just getting money. And it was so exciting just to see that, you know, like you make 2 clean runs and you can see where it falls. It is so fun. So it's definitely going to be a priority for me to come back, and just to have a horse that is eligible for those things definitely changes my ideas on. I have all mares right now except Ellis, and I'm thinking about breeding them all, and just to breed them back to those incentives and breed them back to horses that are in those is a big deal for me, because the opportunities it presents. I mean, to be able to win the money that you can win out there is insane. And when you're rodeoing, you know, all summer, and then when you get a check and you win first and it's $1,500, you're like, wow, like I'm rich, like this is awesome. But then you go to a barrel race and it just pays like a slot machine. And I'm like, geez, like I need to center my priorities here. Like this is awesome. So it really just kind of changed my perspective on it all, for sure.
Well, we're so happy that you did make Pink Buckle part of your year, and we're thrilled for you on this win. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.